Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. I'm John Hartung. It is day 2 of Cactus League play, and regardless of the outcome, the win today was all about Tony Gonsolin being back on the mound. Coming up, highlights of the Catman's much-anticipated spring debut. We will hear from Gonsolin and Dave Roberts on the outing, and plenty more highlights and reaction from Arizona. Plus, our spring conversation with Blake Trinan on his recovery from injuries, why he was so locked in during the World Series run, and what he thinks of the Dodgers being the new evil empire. And why the champs have depth all over the outfield. We've got you covered, just like these guys do. It's Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Let's go. And we welcome you inside our Sportsnet LA studio, joined today by Jerry Hairston Jr., who yesterday on our postgame show declared today as a must-win game for the Dodgers in Arizona. What happened? What are you doing?
And send. I'm sending it to a couple guys there, Mookie and the rest of the guys. I said, get your act together or I'm making a comeback. Of course, I'm joking. It's spring training. It's all about getting your work in. Dodgers are going to be just fine.
And one guy who got his work in today for the first time this spring, Tony Gonsolin. Good to see the Catman back on the mound. And after his outing, he talked about it with Kirsten Watson.
It felt good, first time against big league competition outside of, a rehab outing or a stay hot group. But so it was cool to be back in like a real game.
When you think of just kind of what you were working with, how was just kind of the feel of your pitches? Do you feel like you were executing where you wanted them to, hitting your spots?
Yeah, overall it felt pretty good. I thought the fastball execution could be a little bit better, but thought I threw a couple good splitties, a couple good sliders, a couple good curveballs, and overall just good results.
Does this feel like a spring training where like you're rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, or does this like feel like more of a kind of normal spring where your rehab kind of just got completed last year in October?
Just feels like a spring training.
So when you're sitting back and you watch them adding to the starting rotation and so on, do you feel forgotten a little bit because it's been so long since you were able to pitch?
Maybe a little bit. Just trying to go out there and compete and see what happens.
Do you let your brain play out the, where do I fit in game?
Try not to pay attention to that, honestly. Just go out there and do my job.
And Tony Gonsolin did his job today. According to Fabian Ardaya of The Athletic, Gonsolin sat 91-92 with his fastball today. Maybe that's a tick down from where he was before the elbow injury, Jerry. But today wasn't about velocity. It was about getting his work in, about executing a bit, and he looked pretty good out there.
I'm not worried about velocity. I'm really worried about command, especially being out there for the first time. Look at that pitch. That is outer third. Great play by the right fielder. Here, that splits. Outstanding job. That's what I wanted to see. Does that split have that late action, that down and away right there from Tony Gonsolin? We say it all the time, especially with starting pitchers. You want to make sure you get your work in. For Tony Gonsolin, it's been quite some time since he's been on that mound, so he looked really, really sharp. So good for Tony to get out there. And yes, that was a great question there, too. Does he feel like he's that forgotten man? Maybe. But you know what? That's a good thing. I love players that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Plus, the Dodgers didn't know exactly what they're going to have with him this year coming off that elbow surgery. But let's get right to the highlights. Game 2 in Arizona. The Dodgers fall to the Cubs. 7-3 the final. Tony Gonsolin does pitch a scoreless inning, allows 1 hit, couple strikeouts on 18 pitches. Mookie went 2 for 3, scored a run. Austin Barnes 2 for 3 with an RBI. Landon Knack gave up a run in his first spring inning, as did Ben Kasparius, who did have 1 punch-out. Let's go back to Arizona right now because Tommy Edman, he had a base hit in his first start of the spring, and he's talking with Kirsten and the media.
Felt good, felt good to get back out there, and this is one of the shorter off seasons I've had, so it didn't feel like it had been too long since I played a game. But just going out there, getting my feet under me again, and playing in front of some fans. It was good to get some ABs and feel what it's like to be in game action again.
How did the swing feel for you out there today?
Felt good, timing feels pretty good. I obviously always working on the swing and feel like I'm making some good strides. So it felt good to kind of see those mechanical changes in action and be able to, hit a couple balls hard.
back then?
There was also of these games, sometimes it doesn't matter. This is a spring to see what is out there and to hit the first bat and everything, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've done all the work all the off season and during spring training, and now to put it into game action, it really kind of exposes what you still need to work on. So, you know, it's important. It's an important step in getting ready for season. So, you know, that's just kind of what we're working on, trying to keep on dialing in the mechanics and making sure I'm getting to a swing where I'll be able to maintain for the whole season.
2 games down, 17 to go. You can see baseball on our network 16 of the next 17 days. The Dodgers hosting the Royals tomorrow. Sunday, the Padres will visit Camelback Ranch. All games at noon until next Friday. Reminder, you can see every game this spring on Sportsnet LA. Austin. Yeah, the Dodgers pretty much got everybody. At least they got everyone on Dave Roberts' wish list, including the first one he mentioned, Blake Treinen, one of the many postseason heroes for the Dodgers in 2024. Recently, I sat down with the Blake train to discuss the hunger to win it all again, Freddie's heroics, and how just getting back to the mound last year was a challenge.
I think in 22, not really knowing what you're dealing with and seeing, you know, the long road ahead of you is kind of daunting, and tried my best in 23 to come back, and it just wasn't having it. I think the farther I got away from surgery, the better off I was, and showing up last year in spring felt pretty good. Still a little bit rusty, but like it's been 2 years, like you said, and get a setback with the line drive and the ribs, and it's like, man, as I said, we're gonna come to fruition and see a chance to compete again, and ended up kind of being a blessing in disguise, you know, getting pushed back a month, because it allowed me, I think, to stay as fresh as I was going down the stretch into the playoffs. And like you said, not throwing for 2 years, workload on previous years is kind of a big deal to allow you to be successful for the longevity of the next year. I mean, if I go from no innings to 65, that's not really conducive for your arm. And I think having that month off really blessed me, and hopefully blessed presumably the Dodgers and my teammates as well down the stretch in the playoffs.
One of the beauties of watching October baseball is you see guys like yourself and Freddie pushing yourself to limits that we don't normally get to see during the regular season. Freddie dealing with the injuries, but
yeah,
you know, you and what Game 5 of the NLDS, or had the number of pitches you were throwing in some of these outings, and then Game 5 of the World Series going 2 1/3 innings, and you're throwing like 40 pitches in some of these games. What are those experiences like for you when you forget about what your normal workload would be like in the regular season and you're truly being pushed?
I think my best bullet all year was my last fastball to Rizzo, and then you know, being able to finish that inning. I mean, afterwards you feel it, like mentally you're fatigued, physically you're tapped, and but nothing compares to Freddie. I mean, what that guy went through, I don't think anybody will ever know until he's done playing. I mean, he physically, I didn't think it was possible, but still one of the greatest moments. I didn't think anybody could top a 50-50 season or 40-40 club with a walk-off grand slam. I mean, I've seen some really cool things, but what Freddie did in the World Series is, man, easily the best thing I've seen in baseball.
Yeah, there was a lot of heroic performances. I didn't think it was possible that you could do 2 different up-downs in the same game, in a World Series game. And there you were on the mound, and it was one of the quickest mound visits I've ever seen. Dave Roberts comes out there.
I was kind of frustrated at first. Look at Dave. I was like, Dave, come on, man. Because I knew it was important to finish that inning for whoever was coming in. Our bullpen was pretty thin at the time. I didn't know Walker was coming in. I thought it was going to be Huddy. I knew it was important to at least finish since I was hot, and I wasn't tired or sore. I was like, finish it, execute, so that they can have a clean inning and not have an up-down. And so, yeah, I was like, you gotta leave me in against Stanton. Great hitter, obviously. You gotta make your pitches, but a better matchup with the stuff that I have if I execute. So it ended up working out in our favor. Yeah.
Obviously, you're part of the team in 2020 that wins a World Series. You guys don't get to have the parade and the pomp and circumstance that goes with that. And I know a lot of players that were on that team really wanted to experience what it was like. Did it exceed your expectations once you finally got out there and you just saw how much this team and all of you guys mean to the city?
That was a pretty cool experience, like seeing how special it was to everybody else in LA. Because obviously it means a lot to us. We work our whole lives and our whole career just to win a World Series, you know. And at the end of the day, it's still about people, like the game's great, the trophies are great, never take them for granted, but like seeing what it does for the people in the community, like bringing people together and, everybody from different creeds and nationalities that live in LA get to, rub shoulders and embrace one special moment with us was pretty cool.
Seems like there's still a lot of hunger. All the guys we've been talking to so far this spring who were on the team last year, even some guys that were here in 2020, there's still a lot of hunger to win it again in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can say that they want to win a World Series, and it's true. You don't play this game. Hopefully you don't play it for just, money or spotlight. I mean, you want to be the best at your craft. And if winning a World Series isn't on your mind, and if you don't stay hungry, then I think you need to evaluate why you're playing. In any career, I think just sitting barely afloat is kind of an unhealthy mindset. Mediocrity, I think, breeds laziness, and I don't think away from baseball even. I mean, that just seems like a stressful lifestyle to me. So I think always pushing yourself. I think that's why we have guys that we have in our clubhouse. Again, like I said, is we lean on each other, we push each other's accountability. It's not always fun to hear some of the comments, I guess, but it's always coming from a position of love. So you're always going to hear something that is going to challenge you for the better of the team, and I think. That's why we stay hungry every year. We understand that there's like a level of greatness that we're trying to chase down, and why not? It's just crazy. Like, people could look at it as arrogance, or the Dodgers are trying to, change the game. We need X, Y, and Z in the game to change so it levels the playing field. It's like, well, why does the rest of the league get to determine where the standard is? Why can't someone continue to push the level of greatness, and instead of like comparison, trying to pull people down to your level, and that's not a knock again against the rest of the league, but like that's how we feel, and that's how every team should feel. But like we actually that's in our DNA. Like we want to win every year, because you should. It's disingenuous to not want to do that to the fan base, or to ownership that's investing in you to do that. So.
Here is the Carl's Jr. moment of the game, Jerry. It's Chris Oakey, backup catcher, going deep center field.
I'll tell you what, sometimes when you're young, trying to make an impression, will do it, John. You hit a bomb against the Short Cubbies on the road, huge.
Dodgers lose those 7-3. Who cares about the final score? But let's hear from Dave Roberts with Mookie Betts, or talking about Mookie Betts being back at shortstop full time.
Of course, it's still early, like I said. It's only game 2, but even Mookie Betts at shortstop, being that everyday guy this year, how much more comfortable are you seeing him in the position, the plays that he was making today?
Really good. You can just tell Mookie, I think that the work he put in this offseason, each day is getting more comfortable out there. Today, he had to play today. He just looks more comfortable out there, and so we're going to keep running him out there, but that's certainly a positive right now.
Mookie Betts, he only knows one way, Jerry. He worked out all offseason, playing shortstop this year, and even before today's game, it was a road game for the Dodgers. 90 minutes before first pitch, he's out there taking ground balls, ground balls. And then he started both games this spring, so clearly he wants to get as many reps in as possible.
Absolutely. He looked really good last game. And then here, just in decision-making, you're up. This is a high chopper, great decision. Sometimes when you're new at that position, you try to force it. No, not Mookie Betts. Make sure you're getting out. Obviously, the hit tool. He's going to always bring that. He can go the other way. I love his two-strike approach. But he had some difficult plays charging it, but he looks so fluid, so natural. That's the biggest key. He's such a great athlete. He doesn't have to force anything. Continue doing what he's been doing. And I love the fact that he started the first 2 games of spring to make sure he's got plenty of reps and really get comfortable back at shortstop. He looks like a natural to me.
All right, still more to come here on Access. Didn't take long for the Dodgers to show off their player versatility. Game 2 of the spring had a few of the guys playing positions they likely won't see a great deal of time at 2025.
ドジャースの春はこれから2025シーズンへの期待が高まる。皆さん、今日の試合はいかがでしたか？スコアだけを見ればドジャースは敗れましたが、スプリングトレーニングの目的は勝敗ではなく、選手たちが実戦の中で調整を進め、コンディションを整えていくことにあります。そして、今日の試合では大きな収穫がありました。その中でも最も注目すべきは、トニー・ゴンソリンのマウンド復帰です。昨シーズンの肘の手術からのリハビリを経て、彼が公式戦の舞台に戻ってきたということ自体が大きな意味を持ちます。ゴンソリンは今日の登板を、スプリングトレーニングではなく、本当の試合のようだった と振り返りました。球速こそ以前より少し落ちているものの、それよりも重要なのは彼が実戦感覚を取り戻しつつあるということです。91、92マイルのストレートに加え、スプリットとスライダーのキレもよく、復帰初戦としては十分な投球内容でした。実際にゴンソリン自身も全体的には良い感触を得られたと語っています。もちろん今後の試合を重ねながらさらに精度を高めていく必要はありますが、今日の投球は彼にとってもチームにとっても大きな一歩となったことは間違いありません。怪我の影響でしばらく試合から離れていたことで、自身の立場がどうなるのかという質問もありましたが、彼はとにかく自分の役割を果たすことに集中すると語り、結果を出すことが最優先であるという姿勢を示しました。このような強い意志こそチームにとって貴重なものです。そして今日の試合ではもう一つの注目ポイントがありました。それはムーキー・ベッツのショートストップ起用です。彼はオフシーズンからこのポジションに挑戦し続け、今日の試合ではその成果が現れました。ベッツは試合前のウォームアップの段階から熱心にグラウンドボールを受け続け、試合中も冷静な守備でしっかりとチームを支えました。ショートストップというポジションは内野の用ともいえる重要な役割を担うため、フィールド全体を見渡す力や素早い判断力が求められます。ベッツは持ち前の運動能力を生かし、自然体でプレーしていました。監督のデーブ・ロバーツも彼の動きは日に日に良くなっていると評価しており、今後のオープン戦を通じてさらに適応が進むことが期待されます。ムーキーは試合に多く出場することが一番の近道と語っており、実戦経験を積むことでこの新しい挑戦を自分のものにしようとしています。このまま成長を続ければドジャースにとって大きな武器となるでしょう。そして今日の試合後にはブレイク・トレイネンのインタビューも行われました。彼はこれまでの怪我の影響で長期間マウンドから遠ざかっていましたが、昨シーズンの終盤には再び戦列に加わり、ポストシーズンで大きな活躍を見せました。彼は2020年の優勝は素晴らしかったが、2024年の優勝はまた違う意味を持っていたと語り、チームがいかに強い意志を持って戦っていたかを振り返りました。トレイネンはどのチームもワールドシリーズを目指して戦っているが、本当に勝ちたいという気持ちを持っていなければそのレベルには到達できないと言います。ドジャースは勝利が当たり前のチームではなく、勝利を追求し続けるチームであり、だからこそ常にトップレベルを維持し続けているのです。彼は野球の世界にはどのチームも平等にチャンスがあるわけではない。だからこそドジャースは新しい基準を作り出す存在にならなければならないと強調しました。このような強い意志と競争心があるからこそ、ドジャースはここまでの成功を収めてきました。2025年シーズンもただ勝つことを目標にするのではなく、さらに高みを目指していくことでしょう。スプリングトレーニングはまだ始まったばかりですが、ここからさらに多くの選手が調整を進め、チームとしての完成度を高めていくはずです。これからの試合ではトニー・ゴンソリンがさらに投球内容を向上させることができるのか、ムーキー・ベッツはショートストップのポジションを確立できるのか、そしてブレイク・トレイネンをはじめとするリリーフ陣がどこまで仕上がってくるのかが注目されます。そして新たに加わった選手たちがどのようにチームにフィットし、戦力を底上げしていくのかも見逃せません。これから17試合のオープン戦が続きますが、その一つ一つが開幕へ向けた大切なステップとなります。ドジャースファンの皆さん、2025年のシーズンはまだ始まったばかりですが、すでにワクワクするような瞬間がたくさん待っています。今後の試合もすべて SPORTSNET LA で放送予定ですので、ぜひお見逃しなく。また皆さんの注目している選手や期待しているポイントがあれば、ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。そしてこれからもドジャースの最新情報をお届けしていきますので、チャンネル登録も忘れずにお願いします。それでは次回の試合でまたお会いしましょう。